Okay, boss. Now we start now. Okay. Um, in today's class, I'm not teaching you anything. I'm just trying to show you how it looks like. That's it. Just to make you familiar with the screen. So if you're not understanding anything, or if you feel I'm going really fast, you should not be worried about that, because I'm just trying to show you the complete cycle how HANA will be used for data markets. That's it. We'll be getting into details of each of this topic later. Okay. So HANA is data mode, or you can say HANA is EDW, Enterprise Data Warehouse, or Enterprise HANA, or if they say HANA as modeling, HANA modeler, anything, all this comes into this. Okay. So as part of this solutioning, it will be like this. We'll have a centralized HANA database. Yeah. And we're going to leverage SAP Business Objects for reporting, SAP BO Suite for reporting on top of this. And then I've got data in a lot of different sources. I've got in MS SQL Server, non-SAP database. I've got some data in ECC, SAP ECC. I've got some data in flat files. So I would like to leverage ETL tool. I'll basically I leverage BODs, which is an ETL tool, or I will go with SLT. Yeah. And do what? We extract all this data through SLT or BODs and place this data. We'll also use smart data access also. We'll use smart data access, BODs, SL, different. I would be leveraging different data processing techniques just to show you how it looks like. For one type of data, I'll take one kind of data processing technique, and we bring all the required data into HANA database. Yeah. So you're going to have the physical tables. So you'll have all the physical tables in HANA, and on top of this, what do you do? Some symbol I'm using. We create HANA models and expose them for what? Reporting with the overall we're trying to do. Got this? See, the data will be the same data what we have seen in the last class about those sales order, contract data, then customer. Let's keep it simple. Let's not make it very complex. Because మన data is important, procedure important as of now. Okay. Once we're good with procedure, we can play with any kind of data you want. So this is what we're trying to implement. This is a case study what we're trying to implement. Okay. So I'm stressing again. I'm not teaching you this. If you're confused with this navigation, what I'm doing, nothing to worry. I'm only just showing you how it looks like, how the screens go through. That's it. I'm not teaching. I'll get into details of each of this topic later. Okay, fine. Okay, boss. If you remember, we had planned this. These were the file data we had, right? Sales org data, then what we had sales orders, then nominations, customer master, contracts, then contract master. Come again. Okay. So we had all this data. We understood the relation between all this data, right? We had sales order data, which we understood this, and then we have linking of the preceding transactions as what? We have nominations, and then we also have what? Contracts. And there's another table we're going to have which will have contract type information, whether it is short term or long term. Then we're going to have product information. Then we're going to have customer information. And we just want to bring in all those tables into HANA, then build a model on top of it, and then do reporting. That is okay. So what I'll do is, so I'm going to bring in all this data in form. See, if I need to store all this data in HANA, how do I store this? See, I'm going to replicate this data from ECC or different systems and bring all the data into HANA database. So when HANA is a database, if I need to store my data, what is the component I would use? So only component which will have data persistency in a database would be table. But only thing is HANA would have row store table and column store table. Given a chance, which one would I use? Column store. So basically, I would have load all this data as a column store table, see, right? So when can I say, no, I'm going to build my database. Now I'm going to have lots of tables and formulate my database. What I want all these tables should be logically grouped as one schema for me. So I would like to have one schema, and under this schema, I will start placing all these tables in. Okay. So what I'll do, I've already connected to my system, HANA server. So I would like to create a schema first. Okay. So I'll get into SQL editor. Say create schema, and name of the schema I would say 9 cubics. And every time you write this SQL sheet, we should end with the semicolons. So with this statement, create schema. See, this I will get in detail again later. Okay, create schema and schema name. So this is an identifier, right? We try to put that in double quotes. Identifier, any technical name, table name, schema name, any object technical name, you would try to, we call that as an identifier. We want to put that in double quotes. Just select this and say execute. Okay. So if that is done, I should see my schema here. If I just say refresh, say I see a schema called what is 9 cubics. Let me filter only for that schema. Filter 9 cubics. So I have a schema. I have this 9 cubics here, and when I expand, it does show me lots of it shows me all folders which tells me what kind of objects can be grouped under this logical databases. HANA is a database software. Within HANA database software, you can create a lot of databases which are represented as schemas. So each schema is one logical database. Under this logical database of schema, you can have any type of object, column views, procedures, functions, sequences, or tables, views, all this. But as of now, this is a new schema, so there will be nothing, no table, no views, no procedures, nothing will be there. So I'll have to start building up my database under this schema. Clear this? So I'm not creating any table, because when I replicate through different data processing techniques, through BODS or through SLT or through some smart data access, when I replicate those data, those tables will get created automatically into my HANA. So I don't have to create explicitly a table here. I'm not doing that. Okay. Fine. Now first scenario was, I just want to go with this. I have this product master database, right? What I already done is I have placed this product master data into MS SQL Server database. What are the data we have now? The files I have pushed into different systems. Now I want to consolidate everything. Okay. So let's see that data. Now, if I go to SQL Server, okay, we're just trying to understand the source database first. Yeah. SQL Server database, SQL Server 2012. And for the SQL Server, this is my server name. What is BW74? This is my server name. And user is EHP. So user to do small letter CHP is my username. password of the, okay. I've connected to this database, right? Now, you'll have similar concept of HANA even MS SQL Server is also a database, right? దీనిలో కూడా schema లాగే ఉంటాయి అన్నట్టు. So if you expand databases, I am mainly dealing with this data. What is the database here? EHP. అంటే BW74 EHP is my database server of MS SQL. దాంట్లో user I'm using is small letters EHP and capital EHP is my schema or the actual owner. Okay. దీంట్లో ఒక టేబుల్ పెట్టాను ఆల్రెడీ. డోంట్ నాట్ సీ ఆల్ ద టేబుల్స్. సీ కొద్దిగా ఆల్మోస్ట్ హనా అలాగే ఉందా స్కీమా, దాని కింద డేటాబేస్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ అలాగే ఉంది అన్నట్టు. సో ఫిల్టర్ అండ్ ఐ నో ద టేబుల్ నేమ్ ఇస్ ప్రోడక్ట్. అంటే సీ ద సోర్స్ పర్సన్ విల్ టెల్ యూ ఆల్ దిస్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్. ఐ డోంట్ హ్యావ్ టు వరీ.
Sir, I have one doubt, sir. Hello.
Yeah.
When I'm writing the when I'm writing the query in SQL editor, in my machine, it's telling like there is no connection to database.
Means see, you have problem like this. Say you have opened SQL editor, okay? Then you're logged out, okay? Now what did it say? What does it says? Now you write any query, it doesn't make sense. There is no connection to your database. Okay.
I'm connecting all. I've connected already. I have logged on a machine and I tried that one. Is there anything additional settings I need to do for the
No.
database connection?
No. It might be old session what you opened. You might have logged off, logged in. Then it says no connection.
Okay.
It say like this.
Okay.
System is selected. What is the session? Okay.
Okay. I'll try again tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
This is my table. Okay. If I try and say select top 1000 rows, I'm just trying to run a simple query to see the data in it. See, I have this data available in this table. So I have a table called product MD, which is in SQL Server database. I would like to extract this table and load into HANA database. That's my requirement. This is one first case first. But when I'm bringing in, I have no transformations required because the data what is there in the table is exactly satisfying my requirements. I don't have to do any transformation. I will just extract this and place into HANA database first. This is the first case. Okay. Now, what are the different options? You got the requirement, right? Okay. So from SQL Server database, I would like to extract it into what? HANA bus. That's my requirement. So we have different data processing techniques. Can I use BODS ETL tool to extract, so I can leverage BODS as the ETL tool, which will extract data from SQL Server database and push into HANA database. That is one option. Okay. Another option is we can also leverage SLT because SLT can replicate data from SAP or non-SAP systems in real time. So I also have SLT. I can also leverage SLT server. I can use either of these data processing techniques to extract data into HANA. One is I can also use smart data.
Sir, your voice is breaking very frequently.
Yeah. Even for me, it says it's very slow.
Oh.
1 second. Problem with Beam. 1 second. It's still slow, right? Even for me, I'm feeling now it's okay. We'll see. Now you're able to hear me fine?
Yes.
Breaking. It's
Yeah.
fading. Few words. Most of the words are fading.
4G అది I'll just change the network once. అట్లా నెట్వర్క్ అది కేబుల్ ఇది అది చూస్తే now is this fine? Now it's fine?
Yes.
Okay. So able
That's
to
fine, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
Good. Okay. Okay. Fine. So when you're extracting data from SQL Server to HANA database, I have multiple options. I can go with either BODS or you leverage SLT server as a middleware to extract data from SQL Server database to HANA or Smart Data Access. Smart Data Access gives me virtually I'm going to read the table from there. In SLT, it's going to give me real-time replication of data. BODS in the background, I can just extract once and keep it. But as of now, if you look at this requirement, I don't have any I don't have any requirement of extracting data from real time. I just want to extract from there, just dump it into my HANA. Okay, boss. So what I'll do, for this case, I'll go with what? BODS. I would like leverage the BODS as the ETL tool and extract the data from SQL Server database and push it to HANA database. That's my requirement. Okay. So for this, as part of BODS tool, you'll have something called designer. Okay. Data services designer. I'm getting into BODS now. So don't worry on this repository and all those. If you don't know, just leave it. I'm just logging into this designer where we'll basically create a data flow which says what is my source object, what is my target object, and how do I map it. That's it. Yeah. So I come in here, I just create some project. Cubics batch create. Okay, I've got a project and I'm just creating some job. Project master data. Then I'm going to have some data flow. So within this data flow, you're going to define this flow. It's more like an APD. What is my source object, target object, and then you do mapping. So what is my source object? Product MD table in SQL Server database, and target would be some table in HANA, right? So before I access those tables from SQL Server, I need to create a connection to that. BODS will be middleware which connects to SQL Server and connects to HANA, then extracts from SQL Server and pushes into HANA bus. So in BW we call that as source distant connections, right? Connecting to different source to BW, right? Same way here we call it as data store connection. Look at this. If I go to my local object repository, you see something called data stores here. We call it as what? Data stores. So I would like to create one data store which is referred as source distant connection. That will be one-time job. Once you create a connection, you can access any number of tables from there. So I'll say right click and say what? New. I would say what? New data store. MS SQL Server. Okay. Now what type of, are you connecting to a database or any application? I'm going to database. Now it will ask me what type. I'm thinking self-explanatory. It is asking me what type of database do you want to connect. So, MS Microsoft SQL Server. I can use a ODB server. I don't want, but which version of MS SQL Server we was connecting? 2012. Then what is my database server name? BW74 EHP7. Antena? BW74 EHP7 is my server name. MS. Remember when I was connecting to that I showed you? And database name. Nothing but this key. Which database I was connecting? Remember, capital EHP was my database name. Last we use a small EHP is my user to connect. Once you give all the details, if you say apply, if there are no errors, it just says nothing. If there are some errors in the connections, what you create, it just pops up and then gives me. So if it's not giving any error, it means my connection is fine. Okay. Now, okay, that is one connection. Now next I would like to push data into what? HANA, right? So again I need to have my BOD should be able to connect to my HANA database also. So again I'll still hear your voice is breaking. Still you have the problem with the voice bus?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
For me, no. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Very tough to
I
find.
mean, it's very frequent.
It's a bit different.
అది మన రూట్ ఉంది కదా దీని నుంచి వచ్చే కేబుల్ దానికి కనెక్ట్ అవుతుంది అదొకటి మీకు నల్లగా సన్నది ఒకటి ఉంటుంది అది మీకు நல்ல ரூட் இருக்கு நல்லது பீக்கணும் வந்து yeah now things should be fine.
Muted. Unmuted.
Yeah, now can you hear me now?
Yes.
So
Yeah, it is fine now.
so if I'm trying to speak continuously, then there's no break in the voice, right? It's all fine with you, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we created a source data store connection to SQL Server database. Similar way, we would like to create a data store connection to HANA because I need to be able to, my BODS ETL tool should be able to connect to both the ends of it. Again, right click. I would say create new another data store connection. So N, DS, and I'll say what data store for HANA. Again, with what type of data store are you creating? Database or you creating some application? Again, what HANA is again a database. Yes. What type of database? And the other SAP HANA. Then which version of it? 1.x. Then database server name. What is my database server name? In keep cursor, I told you SAP CubeX is your server, and your instance is what? 01. So if instance is 01, what is the port for index server? And the access is index key 3xx15. So 30115 is my index server. So what I'll do? SAP CubeX is my server. It should 300 default. But what is mine? 01. Yeah. Then username. System and fine. Apply what number? If you don't get any error, it means the connection is established. So I have a connection towards HANA. I have a connection towards MS SQL Server. Now, so I'm in where now? I'm actually seeing what? This is like canvas, right? If you just close it out. If you double click on data flow, you see it's a canvas where you basically can build the definition of the data flow. So what I'll do, from this data store of SQL Server, I need to access the table. So we're not going to extract table data now. We're going to get the metadata of the table. So we know what fields are there, what is this. When I expand SQL Server database, it will tell me tables. Okay. You can say right click, and if you know the name, you can say import by. When I say import, it's like replicating your data source in BW. What I'm doing, I'm just replicating the metadata of my table now. Yeah. Import by name. What is the name? Product MD, and the owner is EHP. So what is it trying to do now? It is trying to read the definition of the, not the database, definite metadata information, like replicating your data source in BW. Yeah.
Replicating means only the tables, right? Not the data, right?
Not the data, only the structure, metadata of the table is being brought. Small. See here it says EHP dot small. That is the owner actually. So I gave it small, then it works. So this is my table. Now I'm going to drag this table. This is the metadata now. I'm going to drag this table into my data flow and make it as it's a source or target. Source. Okay. You do it virtually. If I just click this, it is going to read from SQL Server and show me also. But data has not been extracted yet. Only confusion. See, it is showing this data by reading it from SQL Server database. Okay, fine, but I just want to use simple query. Some transform. You can use a lot of transformations in BODs, but I'm just using query transform.
Sir, one doubt here, what is meant by owner for while importing the table?
Here. The SQL Server database, you see EHP dot product ID. So it always has got some owner. In SQL Server, they'll have a concept called owner. They should always refer the table with owner name. Owner name dot the CP.
Usually we'll refer with schema dot, right? I mean, namespace.
Actually, the SQL Server schema undadu. You'll have database and owner. So could be slightly different. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I'm just selecting this all objects to what I want all of them to the query transform, and I would like to make this product ID as my. You can just rename the columns, whatever it is you want, you can do it. That's fine. Then ultimately, I need to from this I need to place my data into what HANA database. As transformation mostly, you can do a lot of complex transformations in it. But as of now, I don't need. And now, do we have any table already created in HANA? No, right? While loading itself, I want my BODS to create a table and then push the data into it first. So then we use a concept called template table. So we can, if I use template table, it creates a table automatically. So here, look at this. What is here? Template table. I just place this. It will ask me what is the table name you want. I will say again, still load. Product MD, and in which data store? What is my data store connection towards HANA? In DS HANA. Here owner in this now in HANA owner in the sense schema bus. In MS SQL owner is different. Here for us it is schema. Now what is the schema you want? 9. I want this table to be created in which schema called 9 cubics. That will be owner, and then connect this query to this table. That's it. So my connection, I've got source table, I've got simple query transfer, which actually just setting up a primary key and then placing all my data into my target table in HANA. That's it. So I've configured my data flow. I just have to trigger my job. Yeah. So I go to my project area. I've got this job. Yeah. Just right click on this job and say what? Execute. I want to save. So it's loaded. It says job is completed successfully. Then if I go to my HANA database, either schema, if I get into this schema, my tables, I should see a table called product MD, and then I should see the data preview. Right click and say, I get to see this data. So now I've leveraged BODS, which is an ETL tool, to do the data processing from SQL Server database to HANA. This is one case.
Sir,
Yeah.
just now we created a product MD in BODS? No, right?
No. We've never created a table in this. I just use template table. When we use template table, based on the input structure, it automatically creates a table and puts the data into it automatically. So BODS can create table into the order.
No. You said just now it's not created, but you're telling now created. Right? That's the confusion is there.
What I said is, before running this data flow, I never created my table in HANA bus. Physically, I never created my table. In BODS data flow, when I use this template table and give some name, during data loading process, BODS will create the table based because BODS already knows the metadata, like knowing about what columns, what data. Based on that information, it creates the table automatically. That's what I mean to say. And the table what you're seeing is the one which is created automatically by BODS. This is one, product MD.
Okay. So BODS has capability of creating tables in within HANA.
Yeah, exactly. It can create that table. Okay, boss. This is one clip. Okay. So as per my
Hello.
Yeah.
One more question, sir. So in BODS we can create a template table, right? If the source having product ID is having character is 12, so can we change it to 15 like that, or it is not possible to?
In this query transform, let's say now category is 11, it is brought as 11. I can say right click and change properties. I can change it to 15 if you want. You can do. Okay. So by using query transform, you can rename columns. You can change the data type definitions. Setting all this anything. BODS is a really strong tool as part of transformations. You can do anything you want.
So we can alter table also.
Yeah, if it is template table, it overrides. For example, now if you see the definition as you will see it as varchar 11 now, right? For category. I'm going to change this set to prop length as what 15. Okay. And since it is template table, even if I run again, it recreates the table again. Yeah. What is the length now? 15. Okay, was fine. Okay.
By default, it creates column store tables. Right?
By default, it's column store. By default, it creates a column store. See if you see.
One more thing.
What is it?
Initially, we created source structure, right? So that will replicate the what are the structure in the SQL that will replicate at that thing.
When you basically imported the table from SQL Server database, it will import the metadata, right? Based on that metadata, it is creating the table in HANA for me. Okay.
Okay.
One more question is, hello.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, can you change the structure of the table?
ఇప్పుడు అదే కదా చేసింది. I change the length from 11 to 15, right? Means like you want extra
No,
column.
no, not like extra addition of anything.
You can do anything, but that is like getting it. చెప్పిన I'm not teaching you, I'm just showing you I can do anything. చెప్పకపోతే నాకు రాదనుకుంటావు, చెప్తే కన్ఫ్యూజ్ అవుతారు. ఇంకేం చేయమంటావు చెప్పు. న్యూ అవుట్పుట్ కాలం indicator, let's say I want as varchar, some 4 length is fine. But I'm not mapping anything. I can just map some, say some default constant value as yes here. Okay, done. అన్ని చూద్దాంలేన్న తర్వాత. We'll see this in detail. See, as long as you're using template table, it will reflect the changes automatically. But if I import the table physically, then you will not get that. You'll have to recreate the table again. So you get that indicator. You can do all those, anything you can. Okay, that was case 1. Next, I would like to deal with this. We got product master, then I wanted to get this customer master. Customer master, I have not put it in any of the systems. It is still in flat file. Let's assume in the real time they have given this customer master data as a normal flat file, as a .csv file. Okay, so now thing is that I would like to extract data from CSV file and load into HANA database. Again, I'll have multiple options. I can go with smart data access or BODS. So BOD, when I say smart data access, this is virtual access of the table. So I don't want to do that. I would like to load it. So I'll again go with what? BODS again. This is where my file is. It is in my local desktop flat files, and then this is one customer MD. Okay. So how do we extract data from flat file? I'll create one more job. Customer MD. Okay. Now within the job, I'll create one data flow. DF customer MD. Okay. Now get inside this flow. Now I need to have flat file source and target as HANA table. So when you're dealing with flat files, you have to actually create. There's something called file formats. You have to create your own file, because even in BW, when you go in flat file, for each structure of a flat file, you'll have different data source. Same way here, I'll have to create my file structure. Okay, so I'll select this flat files, right click and say what? Create new. So CSV delimited is fine, and then I will say customer MD. And what is my file? What is customer? Customer MD is my file, and it has got header row, so I will say ignore header row. I am reflected on. This space ఉంది. that will be my file. And on this data separator where let me just open this in then why comma correct మధ్యలో కూడా కామాలు ఉన్నాయి. అబ్బబ్బబ్బబ్బబ్బా. And even if you have commas in between, I can use that escape character. Only name ke unnattu ante. Only for name. Empa?
First name, last name only.
ఇంకేం ప్రాబ్లం? Why it's taking only?
First name, space.
Anyways, first column is first row is we're neglecting, ignoring.
Yeah. It is not. It is just taking only one column. That's ఒకసారి కాదండి. Let me create a new one. Then take. ఎందుకు వచ్చిందంటే అట్లా ఒకసారి వస్తాను. Okay, boss. This is my file. I'm okay with proposed data types. I'm okay. So within this data flow, I'll drag my file as my source. Then I use simple query. Without query can use, but I want primary key. I want all the columns of this. And I want the customer ID as a primary key. And then in HANA, I just want to use some template table. Because still I don't have any table created in HANA. I want my BODs to create the table. So I'll say data store as a HANA, and I want this in 9 tables. Okay. So let's just run this flow.
Sir, even in SLT also we have the concept called template where it goes and directly creates a table in HANA.
Yeah.
Or only in BODS we have this.
Yeah, let me show. Once I finish this complete case study, then you ask me all the doubts. Yeah, please. I'm going to use SLT also. Wait, just.
Okay.
Yeah. ఏదో తేడా కొడతాం. ఎక్కడ రైట్ క్లిక్ కొడతాం? టేబుల్ మీద రైట్ క్లిక్ కొట్టినట్టు. So now you see another table, customer MD, and then you see the data. Okay, was fine. Now next is I would like to get I've got customer product, and I would like to get in my the sales orders database. I would like to get the sales order database. Okay, but my sales order data is in ECC system. If I get into my ECC, I've got a table called Z Sales Shell. Okay, this is my table, and see the content. This is my table, sales table. So I would like to extract this table, which is in ECC, into my HANA database. Okay. So I can even in BODS, I can still use extract from ECC and load into HANA. I can do that. But I feel every time I create my new sales order, I want it to be replicated in real time for me. Let's say in ECC, I've got the sales table. Every time they create a new sales order, I would like that to be replicated in real time into HANA. So I would like to and this is a table. So I would like to extract through SLTs. So I'll have ECC application, I'll have HANA. As a middleware, I'm going to use SLT server and replicate data from this table in real time into HANA database.
Transactional data we use.
There's nothing like for transaction data we use this for master will any table you want to replicate data in real time we can use. So SLT can extract data from SAP or non-SAP, master data, anything, any table. Ultimately it is table, it could be anything, any content of a table. So now I would like to use SLT and extract this. So I already configured.
We don't use BODS for this.
What is it? Hello?
We don't use the BODS connection to extract from ECC.
You can use, but if it is stable, BODS will not give you real-time bus. You can only if it is IDOC, BODS can give you a real-time job. Yeah, but if it is from a table, BODS will not give you a real-time replication. So I'm going with what? SLT. Huh? Okay, this is my table bus. So don't worry on how the SLT has been configured. All the configuration is done. So how do I replicate the table? My ECC, SLT server, everything is already configured already. We'll see that how to configure later. Right? Just get into quick view, and then I want to like to do what? Data provisioning, and select your connections. So what is it? What is my target schema for this connection? SLT ECC 9. And EHP, all my ECC is already connected. I've established this connection just before the class. Okay, it's all set. So I would like to replicate some table, right? You do nothing. Just click on replicate and specify the table what you want. Z sales underscore what shell. Select this and say add and say finish. Then it starts. You want automatic refresh? You can say 5 So now what it will do, when you replicate what happens, first it will bring all the historical data, we call that as loading. From then onwards, any record you create, it will be replicating into the table automatically. So now it says, replication is scheduled, so it won't start. First it will do the loading. So it says load in process, means what? It is bringing historical data. Then it creates trigger, log type, only we'll see the concept later. So what it says, load is, it means loading is done. Okay. So once loading is done, it has to get into what? Replication mode, so that whenever there's a new record created, it can replicate it automatically into my HANA database. Now 5 seconds, wait.
Sir, SLT real time means whenever new record comes, it will immediately pick that one, or any buffer time is there?
So let me show it. Give me a chance. So now it says loading is completely done, and it says replicate in process. It means it is ready to replicate my database. But only this table Z sales shell. So when I replicate it based on the metadata of the table is created in HANA automatically, and data is loaded, historical data is already loaded and is ready in replication process. But does not create the table in 9 cubics, it creates in what? SLT, ECC, 9 is a schema. So let me get into another schema. Because we call this as SLT, because when you create a configuration through SLT, it creates a separate schema that is called as SLT schema, and when you replicate tables through SLT, it creates a table in SLT schema, not in your own schema. SLT ECC tables, and what is it then? Z cell shell, just right click and say open data. This is my table which has been replicated from. Now how many records we had? Remember 49. Just remember he was asking whether done automatically, and I want to show you that. So this is sales order 1, and what is the quantity was 120. Assume I've entered it wrong, I would like to modify that change. How do I do? You know how to change the enter in the table. So let me just select this record. Let me change it to say what it is supposed to be, what 150, and say good. Analyze execute to edit and record kindi wait. Sales at 111. What is the quantity now? 1 is the real time. So once you schedule the real time replication, when you're doing reporting, whenever this new transaction is done, if you refresh your report, it creates the data is refreshed. That is the real time. Transaction jarugutane automatic నాకు reporting analytics వచ్చేయాలి. As and when there is a transaction done, it should reflect the data into the reporting automatic. It can handle creation of new record, change of an existing record, deletion of record also. That's my doubt.
So this is not possible to.
Sir,
BODS also has a capability of real-time job through Access Server, but only thing is it can handle that real-time only if it is through IDOC. Extracting from a table with real-time is not possible with BODS. So from table, the source is table, you want to get the real-time job, then it will be SLT. And need not be ECC. It could be SAP or non-SAP from a table level real-time replication to SAP. Yeah. What is the question?
Non-SAP, okay, example ఏమైనా ఇవ్వగలరా సార్?
దానికి మళ్ళీ కాన్ఫిగరేషన్ చేయాలి. We can see same way how I'm getting from ECC, same we can get from now SQL Server database. What I can get that table also in real time. ఇక్కడ ఉండాలనుకుంటా.
ఓకే.
చూడు మీ ముందు వాళ్ళు చేసింది లేదా? I think I deleted, but if you same way, instead of PHP, you'll see something like SQL Server connection. If you go to a different connection, then you can say select table, replicate, and the same. Replicate, select tables, add, then the table is replicated. You will not find any difference whether it is SAP or non-SAP. System architecture, internal functionality will change a little, but for you it is all replication. Okay?
Once you start linking with the...
That's all. Once you have the calculation, it's all same. Yeah. Okay. Now this is how I brought in through SLT. Okay. And then you remember once you say stop replication, says replication as executed, but until you don't stop, it will be saying replicate in process only, because as and when you create, it has to keep bringing the data automatically. It will be in process. In process unte correct, green unte correct kaadu, yellow no undali. Okay. Yeah. Next, I wanted this table contract master database, which will have this 1 and 2 with some description. This is SAP lo undi. I've got the same that table also in ECC. Thank you. I don't remember the table. Z cell C type is another table what I actually formulated. This is my data. I just want to get this data. Okay. But I just want to consume this table not through SLT, through smart data access. Means virtually I would like to read that I have a table in ECC, whether it could be SAP or non-SAP. I would like to read this table as a virtual table. So as and when there is changes, it will reflect this like remote queue. Okay, boss? What is this table here? Z shell underscore C types. How do I access it? And if you look at this, this is my ECC server, which is running on SQL Server database. See, this is EHP ECC and it is running on what? SQL Server database. Okay. So if I go to my provisioning, remote sources, I already have a remote source connection which is connecting. You'll have specific adapter. We'll discuss on that later. We'll have specific adapter when you want to connect ECC running on SQL. You'll have specific adapter when you want to connect ECC running on Oracle. Only adapter. So by using the adapter, I already created this connection. If you see, right click and say open definition. I've already created a connection detail saying I want to connect to this system. This is the IP. This is the server running in with the SQL Server port. And each petition. So I can just expand this remote source connection. It's my Z table, Z tables, right? N one is Z shell Y and then Z A H.
C type.
Yeah, use FGH. Yeah, here we have that shell sheet type. Right now, I want this table to be accessed virtually. So right click and say what? First problem. It is actually showing me the context menu of the above level, not that table. Maybe but should I get option as saying new create new virtual table and Rahul. Yeah, today some problem. All the servers are on, right? Provisioning, remote source, EHP. See, it'll all. That's refresh problem. Fine. Okay, I'll say add as virtual table and take some table name as EHP remote cell C type something. That's the name of that. Okay, and I want this virtual table to be created under which schema? 9 cubics. Okay, create. So virtual table is created to this IP. Done. Yeah. So now if I go to my 9 cubic schema, so I should see normal two tables and there's one virtual table. So right click and say open data preview. So it is virtually reading from ECC and showing you this table. I have not done any replication. I have not done any loading. Virtually, I am reading the table content of ECC. Like this, we can work out with smart data access also. We have different variations like that.
It doesn't contain any memory size also.
It's all stored in this. Only at runtime it uses temporary memory. That's it. Okay, solving any table that you. So now I would like to group all these tables and create my model. So I've got all my physical tables created as we planned. So now brought in all those physical tables now. Now I'd like to create my HANA model. So as it is, I can do BO reporting on these tables. You can create an IDT universe straight away, consume these tables, you can do. But in that case, the pressure is on the BO layer, but I want to put the entire pressure onto my HANA database. So by using these tables, I would like to create my HANA models and then do reporting on top of it. SDA is smart data access. We'll get data.
What's the advantage of having doing all the modeling in HANA
Because if you do modeling in IDT universe, and when you run your reporting, the majority of the pressure is on the BO application server. But if I do performance and if I do it in HANA modeling, pressure is put onto HANA database, so HANA can handle that performance.
One more thing, here we are using different source systems, right? I mean, SQL and ECC.
Yeah.
So different source system having the characters defined as a different, right? Sales order may be defined in character 10 and SQL may be defined where character 10. So how it compatible?
In that case, while BODs will handle that, okay? Yeah, and also you can change that when you're bringing it to HANA. You will make it uniqueness. You will form uniformity when you're bringing it into HANA bus. Okay.
Okay, fine. Okay.
Yeah. So I would like to do modeling on top of this, right? Before we start doing modeling, first thing is, so I would like to create some models by leveraging tables from which schema 9 cubics is one. There's one more SLT schema, right? SLT ECC9. I would like to consume tables from both the schemas for modeling this. Okay, and entire HANA models like attribute view, analytical view, or calculus is all handled by a user called sysrepo, system user. Sysrepo is a system user which actually handles the entire repository, entire server space. Okay, so when you basically activate your HANA model, sysrepo user should have access to these tables. Otherwise, he'll not. He says, I don't have access to those tables. Entire HANA modeling content is managed by sysrepo user, so he should have access to these schemas. So before I use this schema tables to do modeling, I would like to grant him the access. Okay. So how do I grant him? I'll say go to SQLator. I'll say grant. Let error use grant iddama. Error use not. It's okay. Grant. Select on schema. Which one? 9 cubics. I'm just granting him only select author. We can only read. That's fine. To sysrepo with grant option. He can grant others if required. One more, I also want to grant him on another schema, which is what? SLT ECC 9. Okay, and let's execute. Insufficient privileges. First thing is okay. Second thing, because I am not owner of that, that's why it says. So first, na case kune. See, first schema it has gone through because I was the owner of that schema, so I can grant him that access. For next schema, since I am not the owner of it, I am not able to grant him to that. Okay. So my user is system. SLT ECC. And I should be able to grant to others also.
So what does this mean, granting to others, as we said that with grant option?
Not supported grantor and grantor identity. Okay, Lepus, for now, not having authorization. That's what I'll do. Select star from SLT ECC 9. So this is the table, right? So what I'll do, create column table on my 9 cubics. Z sales underscore shell. Since I'm not authorized for that, I'm just trying to create a similar kind of table, same data into my schema. So for now, temporary, I'm just using this. Okay. So we'll have the table in my schema itself, 9 cubics. So I've just created a table same as that Z shell in that schema. So even the same data is copied into this with the data I've copied. Okay, that's fine. So we'll use all this. Now what I'll do, so for all HANA modeling content, we use what? Content folder. So in the content, let's create a package. Say right click. I said all HANA modeling content will be organized by packages. Just create some package. Say 9 cubics. Okay. So let me filter only for that package. So there's nothing in this package. Under this package, I would like to create my HANA modeling, attribute view, analytical views for calculation. But actually, whatever you could achieve with attribute view or analytical view, you can still achieve that with calculation. So majority of the case, even in the RDS, rapid deployment solutions delivered by SAP, ready-made content, you'll all have calculation views. So I'm just going with calculation view straight away. So right click and say new and say what? Calculation view. Sales reporting. That's my view. Standard cube is fine, and I can go with graphical calculation view or scripting based either. I'm okay with graphical for now. So what is my requirement? I just want to take the customer table, then product table, and then join it to sales. Okay. First, I'll take projection. So using projection node, you can just project what columns of the table do you want. So mine is customer MD, which is in which schema? 9 cubics. This table. Now from this table, do you want to project all the columns for the reporting? No, right? I just want to project only some. You can choose like I want customer ID, first name, last name is okay. Country code I want. So sales org and I want customer type. That's okay. So like this, we can use projection to project only the columns what you want. Then I want one more projection to project only the required columns of the product. Product ID. I want all of them. So indicator of the I'll just say all this and then say add output. I can also say this way. So then I would like to join. So okay. Then I would like to bring in my sales. Sales. So 9 cubics. I'm referring it. Almost I want everything. Add out. Okay. Then I would like to use my join operation. Take this sales. Join it to what? Customer first. In the join operation, you can only join two source objects. So I'm going to join this with the customer ID. Again, you can choose the type of join what you're using, left or join, inner join. You can always get into that later. So from this, I want all of them, and from this, I want all this. At output. Then I would like to use one more join operation. Take the result of this join into this, and join with what? No. Join with product. Product versus to product ID. Then select all this. Product name and price and categories. Done. And then this result I would like to take it to the aggregation node. Here we will specify the key figures. Right click, add as aggregated columns. Price again add as aggregated columns. And these are normal attributes. And these are normal attributes for me. At output. That's
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yeah.
While selecting the fields, is there a necessity that we should look into indexes of each table
No,
or
no.
mapping?
So, see, when you look, you just select the columns what you want to project into the output. So you as per your reporting requirement, you'll know what columns is that you would like to project, and based on that you can always bring in. And let's say apart from this price and quantity, I would like to have amount which is a price into quantity. So you can go with calculate columns. So create new calculate column which says amount, which is decimal. I would say 10 of 2. I want this as a measure. I would say quantity into price is my value. Okay, that will be my new column. And I also want to project him some reporting requirement where it says number of orders in a customer. For a particular customer, how many number of orders do we have? So I just want to get the counter. So I can say right click new. I can also add new counters. Number of orders. So measure you want count distinct. See, it works with which aggregation here? Count distinct as the aggregation function. Count distinct sales order IDs number. Okay. If you want, I can build some restricted columns. All this we can see that later. Okay, boss. Activate. So I can see this data. One requirement again is like if I just get into this, see this quantity. See as what 120, right? And I see this unit of measure as separate column as what EA. But as what BW generally we say in the reporting, would expect to see both together, right? 150 pieces or along with currency. We can control that also. Like you can get into, you can say this is the units. First, I will configure something called semantics, more meanings. Get semantic. I'll set this as what as a unit of measure. And I'll go to quantity and define a semantic saying this is the quantity with unit of measure. And what is my unit of measure? The column which I've already used. What is it? Units. And I would like to say currency is like currency column is a currency code. I can define semantic saying this is more of a, it contains currency codes in it. And I would like to associate that with the amount. Let's say amount get in, and I would say this is amount with currency code. This is has to refer. This is like key field with reference characteristic. It has to refer which one currency column. Now, if you see, you'll start seeing them. If you see the raw data, you'll see that as amount with USDs and quantities with measures. You'll have lots of options. Just you basically go building a view like this. And you create this. This is a design time object actually. You can change the definition a number of times. And what is your view name? Sales reporting, which right now I told you it automatically creates a runtime objects in which schema? Underscore sys underscore b. It creates one column view. We'll see that later, but go to this thing, sales underscore reporting. I think that is not mine. Ours is not 6 cubics. Ours is 9 cubics. So you see this column view 9 cubic sales report. The include you can see even this is virtual. You can see data here also. Either ways. So now when you want to do reporting on BO, we have 3 options. Either I can do reporting on the tables as it is, HANA tables, right? What you replicated, or this column view, okay, or on the HANA view directly also. Either ways I can use. Okay. So,
Sir, one small clarification.
Yeah.
See, under content we created tables, right? Using joins.
Under content,
So the join
we create HANA model calculation by leveraging the tables which are in the schemas. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So under join, beneath the join, we created only with 2 tables, right? Join with 2 tables. Can't we do it for 3?
No, I told you that. No? For one
Join skill.
join operation can take only 2 source objects. If I want to join 5 tables, I'll have to use 4 join operations. Like
4 joins.
yeah.
N minus 1.
Yeah. There's one more kind of operator called star join where you can use it to join format star schema with that we'll see later. But normal join node can only join 2 source objects only. If I need to join 3, obviously I need 2 join nodes only.
Achha. Okay, thank you.
And one more thing, okay. I just also want to build in some small hierarchy saying I got sales org, right? I would like to have sales org. Under sales org, I would like to go with some country code and customer. Simple one. Yeah. So I can create hierarchies here. I've got hierarchy step. I can say create new hierarchy. Hierarchy. I can go with level based or parent child. We'll discuss on that later. Now level based, I want to go in. First, I would like to go with what sales org at the top. Under the sales org, I would like to have some country code. Under this, I would like to go with where is this customer? Yeah, customer. Right. Okay. That's it. That's like in hierarchy was. Yeah. Ante. Each level, what column do you want? You can just specify and build hierarchy. So in the calculation, we can build hierarchies also. And one more small change I also want to do is, you remember my customer number is like C100 and my product number is like P100. In BW, do you handle instead of showing those keys, you show text, you remember? Instead of P100, you show text, and then instead of C100, you show text. Same, I want to do it here. See, I have this product which will hold like P100, all this. But in the reporting, when he does use this product, he should be able to see product name as a description. So I'll say there's something like label column, drop down for this product. My label column should be product name. For customer, the first name or last name is the thing. ఎందుకు స్లో ఉందన్నా ఏదో సార్ లాస్ట్ name this. So whenever is customer and last name will be like a label. Also రెండు component you can create your own calculate column saying concatenation of both and then use it on that. So I would like to do reporting on BO bus. See, we will have multiple components, right? Okay. Now within BO, you'll have one of the tools as overlap analysis for Excel. For I'll like to use that. Okay. Now I'll go to business objects. Like you'll have business objects for analysis. I'm going to use BO will have a lot of components. I'm trying to leverage this component for analysis for OLAP for Excel. Like it's like normal MS Excel with some add-on component add-ins here. So I'll say analysis, insert data source, select a data source, and skip this. And you can just right click and say create new connection to the HANA database. It supports HTTP connection, batch 9 HANA connection. Server name is SAP Cubex. And my Access Engine port. Here you have to, since it is HTTP connection, I must use Access Engine port and say create. And select this connection and say next. It will ask me the login for HANA. Now you should be able to see all the packages. I would be interested in what? 9 cubics. And this is my view and say OK. And so by using this, I'm able to do reporting straight away on that view. So I would like to go with product in the rows. Or I would like to go sales order ID. And I would like to remove the sub results, totals, hide totals, and then you can just bring in charts, all the, so I'm able to see my data. But if remove, I have the hierarchy, right? Our hierarchy was on the customer. So. The customer, it was built on customers. So it shows like hierarchy, like symbol, sales, and I have some country code and something. So look at this. Your OLAP analysis is connecting to HANA through MDX interface. So we're able to, what are the hierarchies you built in HANA can be leveraged. But if you're creating universe on top of it, you'll not be able to leverage these hierarchies what is built in HANA. You have to recreate with navigation paths again. See, HANA can be exposed with two interfaces, MDX or SQL. If it is MDX interface, it can consume the hierarchies what is built in HANA. If it is SQL interface, you cannot consume the hierarchies. You have to recreate hierarchies in the BO universe again. I did. Yeah. So this one kind of reporting on that view. Yeah.
So this AOA tool comes along with the HANA package, sir?
Not HANA package, with BO package. Yeah. That's a BO component. And then I have another tool like Design Studio. I would like to use Design Studio and do report. See, first I'm touching all the tools which can deal with the view directly without universe. Yeah. So I'm getting into Design Studio. I just want to design applications. So this is another component in business objects which can be leveraged for creating your applications. It's a dashboard application because it can not only do reading, it can write back like planning of input ready queries, planning, you can create complex applications. This is a very powerful tool. So I just want to get in and I'll say create new application. Batch 911 and say next. I'll just say blank template, that's fine. Don't worry. See, your Design Studio will have the concept of startup because this is like a front-end tool which can be deployed onto business objects, or it can be deployed onto HANA, or it can be deployed on NetWeaver BW also. So this can be made to act as a front-end tool for HANA or front-end tool for BO or front-end tool for anything. I want it for HANA, so I'll say startup mode as HANA. So it will restart the system, let it start. So this will now, it will start playing as if it's a front-end tool combined with HANA. As if like for BW, how do you have BIX? Say when I say startup mode as HANA, this will become as if it's a component coming attached to HANA. Like this, we can see it is asking me HANA login. It is asking me all HANA details.
HANA Studio.
There. HANA connect directly. 0091 something finish. Then you'll have it's more or less like your Bex WAD. You'll have a lot of design components. It's more of HTML5 and you just bring in a cross tab I want. I would like to see data in form of a table. And for this table, I need to bind a data source. In WAD, you say data provider. Now here you just call it data source. So I'll select data source, right click. What is it? Add data source. Data source is going to be my view now. Select the browse. Since my HANA Studio is playing straight away on HANA, I can consume those views. No universe is required here. Yeah. 9 cubics, and this is my view. Sales reporting view. Say okay. But view will not have specific view structure like BigQuery will have rows, columns. There is a defined layout. Now, in order to formulate layout, I'll say right click on this, say initial view. Say I would like to go with something like sales org. I want sales order numbers. That's okay. Data. Okay, boss. Okay, just drag this data source onto this. Now it starts showing you the data. You can just resize your table or whatever it is. And I can just provide my navigation block. It will give me both flexibilities, right? I'll give navigation block. Assign data source to this. It will show you all your dimensions. Put time purpose also. Assign your data source. And this is my like navigation block. I want like to have both drill down and say I'll say mode is not only filtering and navigation. So user should have flexible of drilling down and drill across all this. That's fine. And start executing locally. And this is local output, but I can now what are the application of design? I can save this back to HANA. Okay, as a native application, how you do your SAP UFI? This is an UFI application. This can be deployed onto HANA Access Engine also. Say I want to drill down on customer. Now I get the customer. Yeah, I would like to remove sales order from the drill down. I can just go down, sales order remove, and then yeah. I see only customer. So I would like to do filtering for some customer. Only for Kumar, and then you say apply.
You can do planning also.
Input ready query, planning application, executing planning sequences. So like this, if you want to clear filters, you can just clear filters. Okay. See here. And what you're seeing is not latest. One version behind. This is 1.5. This is 1.6. Inka powerful. Okay, boss. You can design take input ready queries, create planning functions, planning layouts, and planning layout can be made with an Excel sheet. There's a lot. Okay, this one way of, and see application will say save, right? And you're basically getting this saved into HANA Studio, HANA database, HANA Access Engine. So now this application will start running on Access Engine of my application, of my HANA server. So what you can deploy Design Studio on HANA, you can deploy Design Studio on Business Objects platform or deploy it on BW platform, anything you want. It's a much powerful tool. That's fine. And this one. So I can also use another component like Lumira bus. Because even Lumira does not need, if you want to see, my focus is on HANA as my source. If HANA is my source, when I want to do some reporting on Lumira also, I don't need Universe. Straight away I can consume my view directly. Yeah? But if I need to design my WebP report, I will have to create Universe and then go. Now SAP is going to automate that also. But other tools, if I'm consuming HANA, straight away they can consume their HANA models. But only WebP cannot consume that HANA model directly. It needs in Universe. So this is very simple. It's like you say as new. This is not for you. It's more for an end users. It's their own tool there for exploring their database. So you can connect to HANA online, or you can connect to HANA and download the data from the view. Online is fine. Server is SAP Cubex, is my HANA server, and port is 01. System. First thing is we're trying to create a data set by accessing that view. So by using this data set, you will create visualizations. Seven, 8. Then I'm on the sales reporting view. Yeah. And say next. You can just deselect if you don't need some of the columns. I don't need this LMC value. I don't need this. I don't need this nomination document. I don't need this. Or if you want, you can just remove some of the columns and say create. So it's going to establish connection and then give you all the fields of the HANA. And even here.
So this SAP Lumira also comes with HANA or
no.
part of SAP?
See, Lumira client is free. And Lumira server is again licensing. Now what I'm showing is Lumira client. After designing a dashboard here, I need to publish that. To publish, I need to have Lumira server. That's the licensing. Now it shows all the columns. Apart from this, I can just create a new column. Say, I can say new calculate measure. You can create some hierarchy. I can consume the HANA hierarchies, or I can create a new hierarchy here. Whatever it is, I can do. Then we can create some visualizations. So I just want normal bar chart is fine, and I would like to see the quantities. And with respect to sales, so for each of the sales, it shows me this. I want to do sorting with respect to quantity, sort ascending. So I'm only interested only things where it is more. So what I can do, I can just select like this, and I can also do apply filter on fly like this. So it shows only that. You can go to this view. See if I change my view, there's a tool called Click View. This is more competition towards that. So Click View, and you'll have a lot of list boxes. It selects either good or now. If you select upstream, automatically the relevant values will be shown. Cascading, automatic cascading. If you select this, automatic cascading. Same like you can simulate the same effect of Click View also here. Yeah. You can create any kind of visualizations. let's say I want another kind. I just want to add one more visualization. So I want to go with the pie chart. Then I want to go with some say heat map. I want to represent the quantities with the color. Let's say customers. అందరూ సమానంగా ఉన్నారు. అంత డేట్ అంతా ఎబ్బా వాడచ్చు. అంటే దానిలో బిల్ ఉంటుంది అంతే. ఇంకా యాక్చువల్ కంట్రీ అని యూ కెన్ క్రియేట్ యువర్ ఓన్ geographical ante if you have info objects like country code which can give you longitude, altitude, or it can give you country codes. I can also bring in maps also. So next I just want to just get only the value numeric point which tells me total quantity enta ani chupichada okati kavalla. And you can also bring in table display, cross tab data display I want, where it shows me this quantities against some product name. So like you get to see you can also get table display all this. Then you can go to compose and you create some 3 visualizations, right? I can go to compose and take these visualizations and place it and create a dashboard. I want this here and I want this to be played here or something. You can just, okay. Now once you do this, you can say preview. It looks like this. Now I would like to save this out and publish it, right? Now there should be, I should be able to publish to server so that every user can see this. Share like publish to Lumira server on top. But if you need to do this, I need to install that Lumira server either on the BO platform or on the, I can also install this Lumira server on the access engine of my HANA Studio also. So to use Lumira, I don't need BO platform. I can straight away leverage it on HANA access engine. Yeah. Atla vadochu. Or let's say if I want to create some web report, I must create universe on top of it. So I'll go to my client tool. I'll use the IDT tool. Yeah.
Sir?
Yeah.
Lumira is a source dependent or source independent tool?
Means?
Like it's comes with only the SAP database support, or it can support any other?
It can support because it supports universe. Once it supports universe, it means you can connect to any database. Yeah. So I'm just creating some universe and showing you. Just create a project. Batch 9 demo or something. So let's create a relational connection to HANA. So let's connect to what? SAP HANA using JDBC driver. I will do this. Icon level last 01 and then we have the connection available. Now I need to publish this as a secured connection. So you'll have a secured connection now. Now I can create my universe. But two chances in there. I can create normal data foundation, consume those tables or column views, in either my tables directly or column view from this big schema. But I have a new option called SAP HANA Business Layer, which will allow me to consume the view directly. So it shows me. It will show me all the HANA models. See, straight away I'm able to create my universe on the HANA model directly view. Yeah. I can use a table or column views from this big schema, or the view directly. SAP HANA business layer was. Automatic అన్నీ అవుతాయి. This, yeah. Here you'll have all the measures already identified. But only thing is, if you open the data font which is created, you'll be using the local connection. I'll have to change this to secured connection. Yeah, but it's created automatically. Publish to repository. Done. So once that I can start creating my web report on top of it. Again is web reach client and then create report on top of this universe. Because web can't access my view directly, it needs universe. Rest all will be able to consume those views. Since they're able to consume those views, they can access those hierarchies. But when you build a universe on top of that view, the hierarchies of HANA cannot be leveraged. You have to create your own hierarchies using navigation paths again. Crystal కూడా HANA ఎత్తుకుంటుంటారు. ఇంకా క్రిస్టల్ ఫర్ HANA సపరేట్ ఇస్తాను. So I want to go it on universe. Sales reporting. You can get a report like this, and all this reports you can publish it onto portal, and users can start accessing it from the launchpad. Launchpad and with BO portal unto akkada users run chestuntaru. So this will be like your this concept about implementing HANA as warehouses. So from different systems, you'll bring data into HANA database, store it, create your virtual models, and then do report. Okay, boss? Now you can ask me if you have any doubts, you can ask me. This is what I wanted to show you.
Sir,
So I'm not taught you anything, just making you familiarize, okay, ila cheyochu ano idea thought ante. Yeah, tell me. Yeah.
Sir, I was saying that as we have used that SQL statement create the grant select on schema to sys report, that is okay. And finally, when we add the grant option, what does it actually mean? I mean, what is it going to grant?
I'm actually giving authorizations on the schema to sysrepo user, and
that is okay.
also allowing him so that he can grant access to others also again.
Whom are we allowing?
As a person A, I'm giving authorizations to person B, such a way that person B in turn can give to other users. That is what with the last statement say with the grant option says. Okay, he can grant to others. That's what it is.
Okay. Okay, so one more thing. I mean, what are the which reporting tools we have now looked into? I mean, this BO Intelligence, Lumira, and
which reporting?
I mean, just
no, actually, see there are lots of components in BO, but actually, presently they say for all your dashboards and applications, it will be Design Studio, and OLAP analysis for Excel and Lumira will be self-servicing tools for the end users where they want to explore the data, they use those tools. OLAP analysis for Excel and Lumira, and some part of pixel perfect reporting, you will go with Crystal reports. Yeah, Crystal reports for enterprise, and then if there's some analytical applications you want to build, WebB, Now, but now pretty much everyone is straight away going to Design Studio. No one is even getting into WebB or no one is even getting into Excel CS. Even there are some projects where they're migrating their existing Excel CS dashboards to Design Studio. This is a really powerful tool and really good. Yeah, Design Studio. So future would be Design Studio. That is what your point of focus. Even they're not even getting into WebB or something. Straight away they're getting into Design Studio because it can give you like a dashboard effect. It can also help you to design analytical applications also. Yeah. You can do like unlimited formatting because it is more when you drag and drop, it actually formulates HTML5 as a code in the backend. Then for all eventing, you can use JavaScripting. So once you've given a program language, there's no limit what you can do. And for all kind of formatting, we use CSS, cascading style sheet. So that is again a program language. There's no limit to what level of formatting or dynamic formatting you can do. Then the main benefit is it can play on HANA. See, if I need to use WebB, I need to buy BO licenses. But if when it comes to Design Studio, if the customer who has got only HANA server, he does not have BO, he can still use Design Studio. Why? He'll use Design Studio and he'll install the Design Studio server on Access Engine of HANA database. Then he'll create Design Studio applications and publish it onto HANA server, Access Engine. And then you run those reports like Launchpad. You'll have like Launchpad, you can configure, then they'll run from there. So you don't need BO interface. Same with Lumira. I can have Lumira server installed on Access Engine, and whatever Lumira dashboard you create, you can publish that onto Access Engine on your HANA server. Inka, you have data set, right? If you can integrate server such a way, what are the data set I export from Lumira will create a view automatically in HANA. Let's say I take some Excel files and then I do some you had the 4 stages: preparing data, then visualizations, right? In the preparing data, if I can prepare my data and then export my data set to the Lumira server, which is in HANA, it can create the view automatically for you. Yeah, so future would be Design Studio, not even WebB also. WebB is okay, but I would really go with, because it supports developing mobile applications also. It supports.
How about analysis Excel?
Yeah,
Analysis for
I got latest one here, but it's only client. I don't have server, but I've installed the latest one here. I wanted to see, but
Design Studio, latest one supports mobile.
data source.
Does it support mobile?
Yeah. It supports mobile. Actually, if you have BO platform, you can always integrate to mobile. See, if you have BO platform, any reports, if you just enable it to the category mobile, then enable some settings, the report can be viewed in mobile, whether it is WebB report or whatever it is. But here, if you say, was planning latest, buying a bari if you create new application, it will ask me with SAP UIFI application or UIFI mobile. A mobile అంటే కథే వేరు అన్నట్టు అంటే దాని ఫార్మాటింగ్ వెయిట్ చేసేది ఏం లేదు. ఓకే సే నేను క్రాస్ ట్యాబ్ తెచ్చినాను దీంట్లో. సో దాని స్టైలింగ్ వేరే చూడుకో, ఆ ఫాంట్ సైజ్ కానీ ఆ స్టైలింగ్ ఆటోమేటిక్గా యూ డోంట్ హ్యావ్ టు కాన్ఫిగర్ ఎనీథింగ్ స్పెసిఫికలీ. Auto it is got its own themes which ways the formatting gets changed automatically. కథే వేరు. We have seen in my mobile, we tried with our own server, we tried this, we were able to get that. Okay. Now question is real time in real time which tool they use. Okay. Say as a developer, I'm really strong in Design Studio, I'll use Design Studio. If I'm really strong in WebB, I'll go with WebB. But actually Design Studio can give any flexibility you want. I can give an effect more like a dashboard. I can give more effect like an analytical report also. Anyway, I can. So
how about Excel views?
Excel CS, yeah.
No, Excel analysis for Excel కదా.
Analysis Excel Lumira రెండు యూజర్లు బాగా లైక్ చేస్తారు. అంటే నువ్వు ఎక్కడైనా రిపోర్ట్ మొత్తం ఇదంతా చూపి లాస్ట్ ఒకటి అడిగే క్వశ్చన్ ఏమంటే దీని డేటా ఎక్సెల్ వేసేది ఎట్లా అడుగుతాను. లాస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్ అది అన్నట్టు. సో ఫర్ ఓలాప్ అనాలిసిస్ ఫర్ ఎక్సెల్ అండ్ Lumira will be more for end user tools. They use it to explore data on their own. మేము భయంకరంగా చేసి ప్రెజెంటేషన్ అంతా చేస్తే లాస్ట్ వాడు అడిగిన క్వశ్చన్ హౌ టు టేక్ దిస్ డేటా టు ఎక్సెల్ అంటారు. Because once they take, they do further manipulations on it and then they do some massaging there. Okay.
I think you said we can get Excel view also on Design Studio.
Yeah. That let me right. See, you can bring spreadsheet. It's all up to you how you use it. And people write CSS so well, you don't even understand whether that is from Design Studio. You don't even understand whether the report is coming from Design Studio or from where. It's answer formatting there.
Super.
See, once you're given a programming language, you're free enough to write any logic you want. If you Google on the CSS classes for Design Student or ready-made classes, you have to customize those classes. And you can enable planning applications. You want to allow him to create new row bottom so that he can create new record for planning record. At any new rows, you can lots of control. You can execute planning sequences from there. Actually, why there is no BBC? This is mainly assumed to be a front-end tool, which Bex is front-end tool for what BW. Web is a component of BW, dedicated. But when it comes to Design Studio, it is not dedicated tool for anything. It's a standalone tool where you can deploy it on anything you want. You can deploy it on with HANA server, you can deploy it with BO server, you can deploy it with BW server. BO HANA lekakunda utta BW unna Design Studio vaadukoni Design BO BW portal like చేసుకోవచ్చు ఈ server reports. If you have BO, you can publish this onto BO portal. Okay, if you have got HANA server like integrate this. It's like a standalone tool which you can integrate with any as a front-end tool for anything you want. I think preferences, tools, preferences, and you can say startup mode. HANA, NetWeaver and BW, BA platform. I think then benefit. So if you have this knowledge, you're there in any kind of project, whether build straight away on HANA, even with business objects, you're there. Even with BW, you're there. And this tool becomes really, really important.
One more question.
Yeah.
For this, I mean, if you want to do planning, it is always BI integrated planning, right?
Exactly.
You can't do it in HANA.
Exactly. Yeah, I know. When you set this on BW, that planning sequence of planning application makes sense. If you're running it on HANA, no. Yeah.
No. Thanks.
Okay, sir. As of now, which are the reporting tools which we need to have a good grip on?
Yeah. See, it's never a practice that you can be strong in multiple things. Choose one of your favorite area, like design. Have knowledge on all. Choose one favorite area. I would suggest Design Studio. You should be an expertise of Design Studio and have knowledge on all. That should be fine. And to become expertise in Design Studio, even like 2 years is not sufficient. There's no limit. It's vast, because vast and it's all about, say, now you will learn how to format a table. Suddenly you get a requirement, I would like to hide the header block of a table. That level separate tag for CSS. Now, I tell you, search కొట్టల్లో చూసాం అంతే, అన్ని నేర్చుకుని పెట్టుకుని చేసాను ఉండకూడదు. దిగుతాడాలి అంతే. You have to get in and you find some issue. Google కొడతా అంటాం, ఆ క్లాస్ ఈ క్లాస్ తెలుస్తుంది, కోర్స్ అంటే అదే వస్తుంది, కలర్ అన్నీ పడతాయి. It's about practicing more. ఎంత ప్రాక్టీస్ చేస్తే అంత ఎక్స్పర్టైజ్ అవుతాం. Yeah, and it's better it is in the initial stage now. If you follow it now, it's better. You will follow it continuously. But after another 3-4 months, I think you will not be able to catch it up. ఇంకా 1.5, 1.6 లో ఉంది. నెక్స్ట్ 2కి వచ్చినట్టే మనం పట్టుకోలేము. ఇప్పుడే పట్టుకునేది, మీరు పట్టుకుంటే ఈజీ అవుతుంది నెక్స్ట్. And there are a lot of customers who are migrating their Excel dashboards to Design Studio అంటే నీకు అర్థమైపోలేదు. This is a really strong tool. ఎక్సెల్ చేసిలో మళ్ళీ డేటా ఎక్కువ ఎక్సెల్ ఒప్పుకోదు, పంచాయతీ కదా, అవన్నీ ఇక్కడ ఏం లేవు. It's very free hand tool. And if you want to perform eventing, use Java scripting. Flash object లేదు, ఇది లైట్ వెయిట్. HTML5, right? In the backend, it's more lightweight when compared to the Flash object. So mostly preferred.
And hello.
Hello, yeah.
Yeah, I have one doubt. Actually, in Excel we have like some certain limit is there, like 6 lakhs records in a single report. You can see that, like 6 lakhs to 9 lakhs. But in here, Design Studio, can you have like that anything?
No. That's
There
what
is any
you don't have that problem. You don't have that problem.
Okay, fine.
Sir, do we have to know, or do we have to have knowledge of some reporting tools like Design Studio or Business Objects, or can we manage to get a job without such a reporting tool?
For getting job, you don't need to have knowledge on Design Studio. They'll just ask you one question: which reporting tool did you work? You will say Design Studio. Ante. Question next time ఉండదు. మనకు రాదు Design Studio. So even if you don't,
I didn't catch the last point.
So even if you don't learn Design Studio, you can get job. That's fine. Saying that you know Design Studio, but when you're made to sit on some system and ask you to make a dashboard, for that you need skills. Knowledge is different. Getting job is different person. So I would mainly give preference for knowledge, not for the job. Job we can always get. Any day you can get a job. That's not a point. Huh?
That means we need to have knowledge of some reporting tool, right, in order to actually function.
Huh?
So in order to actually work in the job, we need to be strong in some reporting tool, no? Or can we
see
once we get the job?
So now if you look at this exercise, I've done entire thing myself. I've done my ETL, I've done my warehouse and modeling, and then I've done my reporting. Generally, in projects, you will have ETL consultant is separate who actually deals with BODS. There will be a HANA consultant who actually deals with the database and the modeling. There will be a reporting consultant who deals with the business objects. That's how it should be. But in India, it doesn't make sense. In India, you should do ETL, you should do modeling, you should do reporting. That's all. So when you do that, you can never be an expert of anything. You'll always have knowledge on all. Yeah, so if it is that way, I would prefer with the Design Studio. If you want to catch hold of one component of BO, you got to be really an expert at Design Studio.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so currently which version are we using for Design Studio?
All the eventing is done with scripting, Java scripting. Simple, render. Get to set. Get to set the anus data తెచ్చుకో ఇక్కడ data పెట్టాలంటే get set తెచ్చుకున్నట్టు get ఆ రెండు పట్టుకుంటే ఏం లేదు. It's more like in English, okay? This component dot get, this component dot set. అంటే దాన్ని తీసుకొచ్చి దీనికి పెట్టాను. If you can understand that logically, then మళ్ళీ దాని స్క్రిప్టింగ్ నేర్చుకుని జావా నేర్చుకుంటే కాదన్న. You have to go logically, okay? Yeah. And CSS.
Okay, sir.
If you go to Google, you can always find lots of CSS code. Logical గా అర్థం చేసుకుని వెళ్తున్నారు. అంతేగాని మళ్ళీ నేను CSS క్లాస్కి వెళ్తాను, జావాకి వెళ్తాను అంటే కాదు వర్కౌట్. Yeah. What's your next question?
I was asking this, on which version we'll be working on HANA?
We'll be dealing with SP9.
SP9. And what about this Design Studio?
1.6.
Okay.
I'll try 1.6, if not 1.5, because 1.6 బాగుంది అదే ముట్టాలనుకున్నా. Let's see.
Okay. Because now we will go into details into Design Studio, right?
What is it?
I'm saying that in future we will go into details with the Design Studio. It was just a mock-up today, right?
No future. Already we started getting into Design Studio. We'll get in deep in future.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Deep means whatever I know I can explain, but I can't get in lots depth, because if you concentrate on formatting, even 2-3 days is not sufficient, because you will not like color. Will not get into formatting much, but functional device I'll touch in most of the features. Okay. So right.
One more thing, before submitting, client is asking where HANA is supporting lot of tools. So if the client is asking which one is best tool, based on client requirement, we need to decide, or we need to propose any certain criteria. These are your requirements, so we will go for analysis. These are your requirements, we will go for BO, or like how we need to justify to the client which tool is best.
Client is asking you, or whether you are projecting, it will be one same logic, right? Say, for self-exploring, it will be analysis for OLAP or your Rambus. For dashboard and analytical applications, it will be Design Studio. Only analysis applications, it will be WebB. You can create dashboards with Excel, but no one is going towards them. latest trend. It is simplified now. Okay. Design Studio for analytical applications and dashboarding. For self-service, it will be Lumira and your OLAP analysis for Excel. Ante, wearing a mut code. Yeah. Explorer leave అయిపోయింది. Time అయిపోయింది.
Hello.
Yeah, hello, yeah. Yeah, tell me.
Sir, you have explained in HANA Studio while doing ETL using BODS, SLT and SDA.
Yeah, yeah.
So principally like in real time. So
Yeah, tell me now again. Sorry, in the real time.
Sir, you demonstrated us the ETL part by using BODS, SLT and SDA. So in practically in real time. So which we need to consider, sir? Actually, it will be our decision or it will be from suggestions from the other end.
It will be based on the business requirement. Say if they say they would like to have real-time reporting, obviously I'll have to go with facility. If they don't say if they don't want real-time reporting, they can go with BOTS or any other option. Preferably, it will be depending on what licenses my customer has got and what is the business. Based on that, you would go with the solution.
Hello, sir. Can we assume that Design Studio has web intelligence and crystal reports and dashboard features in this Design Studio?
Range or yes, to some extent, yes.
Oh, yeah. Having a business.
I would say
business
complete web is fine. And crystal, I don't say entire functionality of crystal. I can't guarantee, but pretty much of web functionality is all in your Design Studio, and pretty much of like dashboarding function. See, in Excel CS you bring in lot of slide. You have to buy those. You'll have SDK. You have to develop your own components, or you can buy the components from other vendors and use it. And this also supports GeoMap also in 1.6. If you don't like donut map you want, you have to buy from different vendors, or with SDK you have to develop your own components and leverage it. Crystal I don't Crystal, but Crystal has got its own capabilities about handling huge data or pixel based perfect report.
Historical data.
Yeah, so Crystal Design Studio okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, sir, as we when we need to have the real time
ఈ టూల్ ఎట్లా వాడుకోవాలో చూపిస్తాను. డిజైన్ స్టూడియో కొత్తది కాబట్టి అది ఇన్వాల్వ్ చేస్తాను అంతే. My focus on teaching you BO reporting would be just make you understand how to consume HANA objects in these reporting flavors. That is what majorly. For Design Studio, since it is new, it's more interesting, I'll just try to spend some time on it, making you familiar. And there's a lot of ready-made videos on that, how to use all this. Ready-made tutorial on the bus. You can play all those videos and see. Yeah.
Sir, as you said that we use SLT for fetching the real-time data and smart data access just to have it virtually. And what is this DXC used for?
See, when you're using SLT or the smart data access, you're able to consume the tables. But let's say in SAP ECC, I have extractors or data sources. If I want to extract data using the data source into HANA, I'll have to go with the DXC.
Okay.
Direct extraction.
Okay. Okay. And so, where does the difference come? You were saying something. I mean, there in a context. I mean, where does the difference comes when we say if we use MDX engine and if we use SQL engine?
Yeah. See, I've created hierarchies in HANA, right? On the calculation.
Yes.
These hierarchies can be consumed only with the reporting interface, which is connected to HANA through MDX. Say with OLAP analysis, I could use hierarchies which was built in HANA, or in Design Studio, I could use the hierarchies. But if I create universe on top of this view, those hierarchies does not come because universe is using SQL interface, so those hierarchies does not come in. So you'll have to explicitly create your own hierarchies using navigation part in universe again. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Tiffin in the right. Let's stop. And
we can consume all models, right? That last question. Hello.
We'll consume, yeah. Good.
We can consume all HANA models, right? Like analytic views and attributes and
You
calculations.
cannot do reporting on attribute view. You do reporting only on analytical view or calculation view, not attribute view.
So if you created an attribute view, we need to convert as a calculation view, then we need to consume,
Will
right?
not convert. After creating attribute view, you leverage that attribute view into analytical view or into calculation view, then use it into reporting, but not directly.
Oh, okay.
Sir, when can we expect the recordings?
Today afternoon or tomorrow, anytime you can receive. Okay. Thank you. Fine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.